how does something qualify to become an alternative investment?
Yeah, that's a fascinating question because I don't think we have a great, kind of carved in stone answer to that. Ultimately, if you could find, you know, limited edition pens, right? There are people that collect pens, and some of these pens can be very, very valuable. Anything that is scarce maybe has some intrinsic value due to the materials, right? But also has some emotional connection. In the US now, people are buying old, if you can find an original like Donkey Kong cassette for an Atari or Nintendo or something like that, people will pay thousands of dollars for an unopened version of this, right? So, as our generation kind of grows, we have nostalgia for the things we grew up with. What makes that an alternative? I think the fact that you actually are viewing it as a way to make money, right?
Mm.
I have a bunch of wine. I don't view it. I'm not thinking of that for investment, right? I think of that for consumption. But other people think of wine for investment. You can go to a couple of different firms here in Singapore and open an account, and they can set up a wine portfolio for you for investment, which is fascinating.
So at the right price, would you sell your wine?
Some of it maybe, but actually a lot of it, I want to drink it. That's why I bought it.
Okay.
you
All
know,
right.
but if somebody
Okay.
just said, "I'll write you a check for however many thousands of dollars for your wine collection," I'd be like, maybe. But but
Okay.
actually the thing that makes it tough, Kanan, is that you've got this issue of like actually finding a trade, right? So who's the other side? How am I going to find somebody to buy it? Right? That's another aspect of this that
Yeah.
it's challenging. And so only some things have kind of made it to that level. And there, when more people get involved in it, becomes easier to buy and sell. And that makes them more of what we would call more liquid market. And it helps everybody with their investments, buying royalties and other forms of IP, right? So I think many people might have read these stories of, Taylor Swift sold her catalog, or Bruce Springsteen sold his catalog of songs. And again, it's just this kind of really wild thing where somebody's going to go buy, and there are lots of different ways to monetize intellectual capital like that. You can do it in drugs as well. There are actually public companies. You can buy stocks that do this. A company called Hypnosis, and
Album
they're
covers.
listed in the UK, and they do like all the song catalogs. I think that there are lots of different opportunities. Ultimately, for individuals, though, I think the real interesting work is in collectibles, because we can surround ourselves with this every day. And then for many of these, the entry price is small enough that we can actually participate. I don't know. That's my quirky.
In this book, we had a section in modern alternatives where we talk about future trends, autonomous vehicles, work from home trends, 3D printing. That's going to be impacting real estate somewhat. Not sure how things will find their feet yet, but there's a culmination of new technologies coming together sort of almost at the same time. And now with the wave of GPT and artificial intelligence, um, I would say that things have become a little bit more murky, especially post-COVID.
I have two things I'm really focused on. One is kind of the world of sustainability. More and more of what I teach is along those lines. I think it's really important for the planet that we kind of figure some of this stuff out. So I want to see better developed markets for, or standards for how we think about sustainability, how we think about impact. Because once we have that, I think we can make it more broadly available to individuals than to just, through some larger institutional investors. So that's the first one. And the second one, honestly, is crypto. I tend to think that blockchain should have some interesting use cases. But I think the underlying technology has a lot of promise. So I do, subscribe to a couple of things, and show up in my inbox every day or once a week to try to see, has anybody really come up with something that I think is a compelling use case? Because that, I think, will take the whatever third wave of crypto and digital assets to a totally different level. So watching out for that.